Hey, everybody, in John 21, okay, verses 18 and forward, Jesus had just gotten done quizzing Peter. Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? And Peter says, of course I do. Of course I do. Of course I do. And Jesus says, feed my sheep, that kind of a thing. And then Jesus immediately moves to, look, the truth is, Peter, that when you were young, you could do pretty much whatever you wanted. But when you get older, you're going to have your arms are going to be spread and people are going to lead you where you don't want to go. And basically, what he was talking about was how Peter was going to die. It was through crucifixion. That was one of the ways they talked about crucifixion. He said, that is the way you are going to die in glorifying me. And then Jesus says, follow me. And I say, whoa, this is pretty deep. And what Peter says pretty much after that is he kind of deflects, I guess, right? He looks at another disciple and says, well, what about him? I think kind of might be what I would do, is just like Jesus says, man, this is going to be, there's no guarantee, man, that life is going to be easy for you. And for me, it would be like, it's not how much money you're going to make, and you're not going to have success in the world. You're not going to have a promise of health, and I'm not even going to guarantee you're not going to be caught in a pandemic, right? Follow me. And I'd say, whoa, what about him? What about him? And what Jesus says to Peter is, what does that matter? You follow me. I think he said, what is that to you, right? You follow me. And I think that's kind of like a question that we all should be kind of dealing with on a daily basis. It's not about somebody else. It's about, Dan, how are you following me? Because we're supposed to be following Jesus and growing to be more like him, right, through the power of the Holy Spirit, even in the midst of a pandemic, right? And sometimes it's easier just to compare ourselves with other people. Am I right? But no, this gets very personal. And it seems like this. In 1 John 2:6, here I've got this printed out. Those who say they live in God should live their lives as Jesus did. Okay? And it seems like that when we say follow Jesus, follow me, it's a journey. It's a sharing of life. It's not just we have on a piece of paper, we have a set of beliefs, and we say, oh, okay, sure, that's faith, that I agree with that. But this is saying that God lives in us. We'll get to that in a second. But that we live our lives as Jesus did. And sometimes there's no guarantee that it's going to be easy. And so a daily question for us is, how am I living as Jesus did right now? How am I growing even in the midst of a pandemic? And in Philippians 2:13, it says this, for God is working in you. He's working in you. And if you remember before, Jesus breathed in to us the Spirit of the living God, right? That we are joined in a union with God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. I mean, how powerful is that, right? But God is working in you, giving you the desire. He gives us the desire to serve and the power to do what pleases him. And he gives us this desire, this hunger to grow to be more like him and to serve him and to please him and to figure out how we can better be obedient, right? And so I've really been thinking about that, about what this journey means to me in the midst of the uncertainty of virus stuff. And I think about the word for me that I've been praying about is humility, right? Because my humility towards God or with God is, there's stuff coming all the time here that I'm trying to process and trying to figure out, and I feel very I have to rely on Jesus a lot more because I don't have the answers and I can't see that future. I can't control it like I really want to. And I believe in the Sermon on the Mount, it talks about blessed are those who are poor in spirit, who realize their need for God. And so I'm growing in that way, I think, where I'm realizing that I'm just human and I can't figure all this out. And some of the stuff I have to say, okay, Jesus, you are. So please take this off and handle this, please, until I right? And then the other one is the humility with others, is that it's being pushed on me that we are all in this together. And whether we say I'm growing in compassion or whatever it is that it seems the bigger thing for me are these relationships and is the love, is this sacrificial love, if you will, that's coming along with me with not having all the answers, is that I don't know. It's hard to describe, but a more of a love for others, giving others the benefit of the doubt of a hopefully a growing selflessness for me, as hard as that is, right? Wanting to be in control and wanting to tell other people what to do, but this more of a selfless kind of a thing, that we are all in this together, and finding somehow that the love connection with all that seems to be growing for me. Man, I don't know if that makes sense, but it's... but then I also have this, I want to say humility that's growing, where I'm giving myself a break. And I don't know, maybe you can relate to this, but man, it's hard to figure out what is going on sometimes. And the psychologists I've read have all these answers for it, but it's just like I'm not getting done what I want to get done, or I'm sleeping more, with exercise, and it's just like things are happening, days are blurring, right? What day is it again? Has that happened to you? Is it Friday? And it's like, it's the ability in humility to say, that's okay. Dan, give yourself a break, right? Don't compare. You don't have to compare yourself with other people. If they're like these go-getters or whatever it is, take a break, man. That the hoops that you set up before, maybe for yourself, you can let go of that, right? Basically, you can hook up with this humility with Jesus. That you don't have all the answers. It's not all about what you can get done. That you can rest easy in a growing love for others, a sense of relationship that we're all in this together. And man, take a break. You can give yourself the benefit of the doubt. How about that? And you can rest easy with that. And maybe that's how a little bit of how I'm kind of growing, following Jesus closer and closer through this pandemic thing. I don't know, right? It's new ground, but following Jesus is not new ground. Okay, that should be one of those daily questions, I think, is how is Jesus living in me, and how am I reflecting that, right? How am I growing in the image of Jesus through the power of the Holy Spirit? God bless you. If you have any kind of things you want to post, that how you're growing, you feel free. Love you. Peace be with you. I'll see you soon, I hope. Right? Bye-bye.